Welcome. Workshop 1 begins a focus on pedagogy. We may hear or use this word often, but have you thought about what it really means? Pedagogy is a noun, the act, process, or art of imparting knowledge and skill through education, instruction, schooling, teaching, and training. So keep this definition in mind as we move through this workshop. Let's take a peek at the agenda. First, we'll talk about the importance of the early years and establish the overall workshop frameworks. Then we'll talk about common understandings in early childhood education, executive function, and finish with the view of the child and give your action point for the next session. Part 1. Why are the early years important? Children's experiences early in life have a profound and long-lasting impact on their future. Helping all children receive positive and nurturing support in early childhood should be highly valued by professionals in the field. The more positive the early childhood experiences, the greater the benefit to caring and responsible societies and communities. The early years, from birth through approximately age 8, are a period of intense learning and development when tremendous changes occur in the brain over a short period of time. In the first year of life, the architecture of the brain takes shape at an astounding rate. Approximately 700 new neural connections are being built per second. Think about that. Studies have shown that this process is significantly influenced by children's early experiences with people, their surroundings, and their access to relevant and meaningful stimulation. This influential period of 0 to 8 years is also characterized by the unprecedented physical, social, emotional, and cognitive growth. One way to significantly decrease gaps in achievement later in life is to provide enriching learning experiences to children well before they enter school. The ability to derive long-term social, health, and economic benefits, as well as the ability to contribute constructively to the community, hinges on the early years. Studies show that positive early experiences lead to improved determinants of health, resulting in fewer instances of depression and better health outcomes throughout the life cycle. For this reason, the economic benefits of investments in the early years are well documented and very important. Early childhood sets the foundation for lifelong learning, behavior, health, and well-being. The path for lifelong learning, behavior, health, and well-being is shaped by day-to-day experiences in early life. Early human development thrives through experiences and interactions with responsive adults and peers. A child's ability to regulate emotions, behaviors, and attention increases over time, in step with experience and responsive relationships. The view of the child should be central to any set of common understandings that deals with the early years, enriched by concepts of interdependence, relationships, and physical, social, emotional, cultural, and cognitive development. The view of the child is best characterized by the terms discovering, doing, developing. Discovering. Discovering acknowledges children's interdependence with others and the basis of relationships in defining identities. In early childhood and throughout life, relationships are crucial to a sense of discovery. Doing. Doing recognizes the significance of the here and now in children's lives. It is about the present and them knowing themselves, building and maintaining relationships with others, engaging with life's joys and complexities, and meeting challenges in everyday life. The early childhood years are not solely preparation for the future, but also about the present. Developing. Children's identities, knowledge, understandings, capacities, skills, and relationships change during childhood. They are shaped by many different events and circumstances. Developing reflects this process of rapid and significant change that occurs in the early years as young children learn and grow. It emphasizes learning to participate fully and actively in society. This framework of discovering, doing, developing will be the basis of our professional development. Please pause the video here. Please take at least 15 minutes to review your notes and consider your reflection on why the early years are important. Also review the video links and resources from the transcript. Part 2. What are the benefits of embracing a set of common understandings in early childhood education? Benefits for children. High-quality programs promote children's current and future well-being when children are highly engaged in healthy and nurturing environments from the earliest stages of life, and are better equipped to navigate key life transitions successfully, more likely to excel in school, and more apt to develop into confident and capable adults. Children's developmental progress is enhanced when practice is adapted to meet the individual strengths and interests of each child. Benefits for parents and families. High-quality programs promote connections for parents and families when accessible and high-quality early childhood education teaching provides valuable information to help support parents in their role as primary caregiver, and when education is delivered by quality staff and leaders who help to reassure parents that children are safe, they are learning, and they are in trusted care. When we think of these benefits as educators, we must consider the following questions. How can you develop inclusive strategies which recognize diverse social, cultural, and linguistic perspectives? How do you help children feel they belong and that they are valuable contributors? And how can you cater to children's development, value children as active, capable learners, and prepare them on their educational journey? Please pause the video here. Please take at least 15 minutes to consider your reflection from Part 1 on why the early years are important. After this section of the video, Part 2, reflect on what you initially wrote and take time to revise it. Also review the resources from the transcript. Part 3, Executive Function. So let's unpack the cognitive skill zone in early childhood. Cognitive skills do not exist in an academic-only vacuum. The early education field is recognizing the key role played by young children's executive function skills, generally defined as the cognitive abilities that consciously support goal-directed behaviors. These qualities, which begin to develop in early life, include the ability to anticipate and initiate actions, appropriately direct and sustain one's short-term attention, inhibit inappropriate behaviors, problem solve, incorporate relevant feedback, and retrieve rules and ideas from long-term memory to implement appropriate strategies. Examples of important early executive function classroom skills include the capacity to resist distractions, shift and maintain focus on the teacher or task at hand, and remember and follow directions such as raise your hand and wait your turn. What does that mean? Teachers can play a role in shaping children's executive function development. Factors that appear to be related to executive function development in early childhood include the degree to which the classroom climate is organized, and how teachers provide explanation on classroom activities, why they are taking place, and provide demonstrations of what to do while engaged in these activities. Also beneficial to the development of children's executive function skills is teachers' use of more open-ended questions and letting children know their efforts to learn and behave are appreciated. Preschoolers also experience gains in executive function when they are positively engaged with both classroom activities and interactions with their teachers. Additionally, children's spontaneous pretend play has a positive correlation to the development of executive function. It is through such play that young children learn self-control, for example, taking turns and thinking before acting, and cognitive flexibility, role-playing, and perspectives. And they also develop their working memory, for example, remembering how to play a game. Why is this important? School readiness. School readiness is a popular term in early childhood education and should be approached with caution. School readiness should take into account and develop a child's ability to take responsibility and should develop their social preparedness at an early stage. Think, is this happening in my classroom? Is there a hard lean toward academics? What does that mean to you? Most important, what does that mean for the children in your care? School readiness is an important focus, but it should be a multifaceted process which encompasses all the developmental areas and various skills of children, rather than only focusing on cognitive and literacy skills. Please pause the video here. We've gone over a lot of information, so please take at least 20 minutes to review the provided resources from the transcript. Part 4, Defining the View of the Child. Let's finish by revisiting the view of the child and the discovering, doing, and developing framework to synthesize our learning. The view of the child is crucial to child and family-centered early childhood education. When children are recognized as competent, curious, capable of complex thinking, and rich in potential, then teaching that values and builds on children's strengths and abilities is more likely to occur. It is important that early childhood professionals take into account that the best interests of the child be a primary consideration, and that childhood is viewed as a phase of life with intrinsic value. Children should be active learners, creative, curious, natural explorers, playful, knowledgeable, joyful, and contributors to their community. This is done through discovering, doing, developing. You do play a role in shaping children's development and executive function. An intentional, planned, regularly evaluated and revised early childhood classroom should support learning and development and should include the following aspects: informed understanding of what children are capable of learning and how they learn, considering the child's well-being, security, development, and learning, develop children's social preparedness at an early stage, further, collaboration among the teachers, parents, and children, setting specific plans that benefit all children, and supporting learning through active engagement, experimentation, social interaction, and communication. Remember that school readiness not only refers to academic readiness, it takes into account a child's ability to take responsibility and their social preparedness at an early stage. Cognition can take many forms, such as goal-directed, for example, in executive function, flexibility, for example, in play, and academic. How you, as an early childhood professional, approach the development of this cognition is crucial. Throughout these workshops, you will consider aspects of development, behavior, needs, relationships, and ethics in early childhood. In each workshop, you will compile thoughts, somewhat like a journal, culminating in the creation of an early childhood educational philosophy that builds on the framework of discovering, doing, and developing, and owning your role in that process. This is exciting! Let's look at the ways you felt an early childhood education setting promoted a safe and joyful childhood. These are your words. I love this. It is representative of a strong focus on professionalism and passion. This can be your springboard into your pedagogy. To conclude, we know that children's experiences early in life have a profound and long-lasting impact on their future, and that these experiences can also lead to long-term social, health, and economic benefits. Through discovering, doing, and developing, we know we need to meet the individual strengths and needs of each child so our work can support development into confident and capable adults. We know that involving executive function in our pedagogy can support children's short-term attention, ability to problem solve, and retrieve from long-term memory, all of which can build school readiness in a way that promotes responsibility and social preparedness. Finally, we know that an intentional, planned, and evaluated and revised early childhood pedagogy should support all of these elements. So think about framing your own pedagogy around these questions. How can you develop inclusive strategies which recognize diverse social, cultural, and linguistic perspectives? How do you help children feel they belong and that they are valuable contributors? And how can you cater to children's development, value children as active, capable learners, and prepare them on their educational journey? As we finish, do a final reflection on your ideas on why the early years are important. How has it changed from the beginning of this workshop to now? Please pause the video here one last time. Please take at least 15 minutes to consider your reflections from Part 1 and Part 2 on why the early years are important. Reflect on what you have learned and take time to finalize your thoughts. And now it's time for your action point. Read the document Questions to Consider and choose one question and answer it. Post your question and answer on the Padlet. Remember, there's no right or wrong here. It's meant for collaboration and interaction. And then finally, post a supportive reply to at least one peer. I look forward to your feedback. Don't forget to fill out the survey. I truly hope you enjoyed this and have something, if not a lot of things, to take away from this.